Okay.
Yeah, you okay?
Yeah, not too bad.
Just waiting for the program leader and tutors to join us.
Okay. Who have you got coming?
So we've got Professor Tahir, who is program leader for clinical psychiatry, and we have Joanna Livingstone, which is a tutor on our applied clinical psychology MSc.
Oh, I can think they're both in the chat.
Oh, hi both.
Hello.
On the video, if you can see underneath me and Kirsty, there's a green start stream button. If you can please press that, it'll bring up a pop-up window where you can select your microphone and camera, and then select that and you'll be able to join us on the video stream.
Hopefully.
We've done a few of these now, so we know it's not always the case.
There we go. Hello.
One. Hi,
Hello.
Thank you for joining us.
Hi.
Hopefully Joanna will be able to do the same in a moment.
Yeah.
Hi everyone that's here, and we're just waiting on a couple more people to join us, and then we'll be ready to get started. So please feel free to say hi in the chat if you're here and let us know where you're from.
Joanna, if you have any issues, just let us know in the chat. We'll see if we can help you.
Hi Emma, hi Algina, nice to see you both here. Hello Jessica. Just bear with us a moment, we're just waiting for Joanna Livingstone to be able to get on the live stream. Hopefully she is able to work out the tech, because it can be a little bit tricky.
Yeah. We've done a few of these now. This is our last one, and I don't think we've had one where it's been easy to get on, but we've made it through.
Joanna, if you're having any problems, we can always get someone to give you a quick ring and help you get set up. So just let us know. Hi everyone who's just joining us. We will be starting shortly. Just waiting for one more person to join in the live stream and be ready to get going.
Should we make a start, and then hopefully Joanna can join us in a moment? And Joanna, if you have any issues, let us know. We have our team on standby. We can give you a call and get you live with us. But whilst we wait for that, let's kick off things today. So just wanted to say hello to everybody. Thank you for joining us today. This is our final live stream for the September 2022 Open Day. And today we will be discussing our applied clinical psychology MSc, as well as our clinical psychiatry postgraduate diploma and MSc programs that we have available. Joining us today, we have Professor Tahir, who is the program leader for clinical psychiatry. Oh, just in time. Here is Dr. Joanna Livingstone, who is the tutor for
Perfect timing.
Can you hear me?
Perfect timing. Joanna,
Can you hear
yes,
me?
we can hear you. Thank you. Yes.
Brilliant. Hi.
Perfect.
Okay, hi. From sunny Scotland. Hi.
Hello.
So Dr. Livingstone is a tutor on our applied clinical psychology MSc. And also we have, last but not least, we have Kirsty Betteridge, who is the head of our student recruitment. And a little later on, she'll be going through some admissions questions, FAQs we have along the process, and just talking you guys through what to expect from start to finish. So thank you all for joining us today. So, Professor Tahir, if you wouldn't mind kicking us off, please can you give everybody here an introduction into the clinical psychiatry programs that we run here at Learn Diploma MSc, what to expect and who they're sort of aimed for.
Hi, welcome everyone. My name is Professor Tahir. I'm a consultant psychiatrist in the University Hospital of Wales in Cardiff. I've been involved with this course for many years now, since we conceived it and produced it. Apologies if I interrupt myself and put myself on mute, because I'm recovering from COVID and I've got this lingering cough. So apologies if I just go into a bout of cough to not bother you with.
That's okay. We'll fill in. We'll fill in for you.
Yeah.
Anyways, so the clinical psychiatry course is more geared towards people who have an interest in psychiatry. Not necessarily these would be mental health professionals, but those who have an interest. And you necessarily don't need to be a doctor to do a clinical psychiatry course. We have had people who have got interest from pharmacy, from psychology, from mental health nursing, from general nursing, and we've had participants and students from across the world, right from Australia up to Hawaii over the last 2-3 years. It's a demanding course. If someone thinks that online courses would be just straightforward and you would do it them flexibly, but it is quite demanding course, because it stretches you through clinical scenarios in very different directions, and it is intellectually quite challenging, and so it is important to stick to the timelines and structure your time, your week, in a way that you are able to dedicate time to look at the scenarios, learn from scenarios, and also learn from what everyone else is contributing to in the clinical scenarios. And these clinical scenarios are quite interesting because they cover a lot of ground, right from introduction to psychiatry, history taking, mental state examination, looking at the phenomenology and psychopathology, and how to undertake mental state examinations, because psychiatry is very challenging in many ways, because in physical health you can see a swelling, measure blood pressure, look at the blood tests, whereas in psychiatry, if someone says I am depressed, you can only second guess, and hence it's important to take a good history, because you can't touch, you can't feel, you can't see, you have to understand what that person is going through. And that makes this course even more challenging, because there are no direct lectures. It is all online through clinical scenarios, and hence you have to learn from those clinical scenarios. The answers that the tutors put on, we have evolved and built those responses in a very comprehensive way, so that when at the end of the 48 hours, when we put a clinical scenario response, it should be quite enriching towards your learning. And even without contacting someone face to learn from those scenarios. Having said that, I have tended to put some of my own videos, and for my own sins, being on some YouTube and some other channels, I've put my pre-recorded stuff for people to learn from those lectures if they want to. But it is about interaction. It is about being quite bold in expressing what you are saying, and not be shy. Contact the tutors directly. We cover a wide range of topics. The first module is around introduction to clinical psychiatry. The second module is about general presentations of serious mental illnesses like schizophrenia, depression, bipolar affective disorder, personality disorders, which are the common ones that present. Then third module is around old age psychiatry and various aspects of old age psychiatry. Fourth module is on some other presentations like post-traumatic stress disorder, medically unexplained symptoms, eating disorders, obsessive compulsive disorder, and some other presentations which might not be considered as major mental disorders but are key areas of clinical importance that must be addressed in any psychiatry course. The fifth module is an interesting combination of child psychiatry, 3 weeks of child psychiatry and 3 weeks of neuropsychiatry. And then the final module, sixth module, is on addiction psychiatry. You perhaps are already familiar with the structure of the course. The course is structured with 6 modules. Each module is of 6 weeks duration. Each week we have 3 clinical scenarios. So by the time you finish your 6 weeks, you have covered quite a wide range of clinical scenarios to give you a very broad. Now, having said that broad-based, it is still
Professor, I think we've had some connection difficulties, so you might want to just repeat what you said previously. Just on us for a moment there.
How far did you get it?
We got to about the end of the topic. At the end of it, we've covered a wide range of scenarios.
So by the end of the 6 weeks, you've covered a wide range of clinical scenarios, which gives you quite a broad base of clinical psychiatry input. And we sort of focus not just about sometimes people think that psychiatry is all about prescribing medications, but that's not the case. We are mental health professionals. We look at a biopsychosocial approach where the biopsychosocial model of information gathering and mental state examination is key to the whole course, and the biopsychosocial assessments then lead on to biopsychosocial management. And within that, it's not just about medication, it's also psychological work and non-medication therapies. So that is the course in a nutshell. Okay, I'll stop here. If people have questions, happy to answer.
Great, thank you. Thanks for going through that with us. Yes, I should mention we do have the live chat that's going on along the left-hand side of the screen. You can pop any questions that you have at any point. We will try to get through as much as possible. So we have our student services and already there waiting to answer your questions in the chat. And we will go through some towards the end as well. So if you have questions for myself, admissions, anything about clinical psychiatry or our applied clinical psychology courses, just pop them in the chat anytime and we'll try to get through as many as we can today. So moving on, we will now talk about our applied clinical psychology MSc. So Dr. Livingstone, thank you very much for being here today. Would you like to give everybody just a brief sort of overview of what to expect from the course?
Hi. Good afternoon. So I'm Joanna Livingston. I'm one of the tutors on the clinical psychology programme. And I'm not going to repeat everything that's just been said about the course, but what I am going to say is that it's a very similar outline for the clinical psychology course, in that it covers covers a 6-week period of different topics. But before I go into all of that, what I just want to say is that I just find this course amazing because we can all connect online from different countries, different cultures, different backgrounds, but with a common theme for learning. You know, the people that join this course really are so enthusiastic and really want to learn. And, you know, there is a lot of learning. I would just say that for someone thinking about this course, it's important to be aware of that, or someone joining the course. You know, there is a lot of learning, but it's fascinating. And the students are always, you know, really interactive on the forum, the academic forum, which is one part of it. And as a tutor, I'm always, you know, posting the references and helping the students along with the references and how it links to clinical practice. So as I say, it's fantastic having different people from different cultures, different backgrounds, different countries, working in different areas of mental health. And so this course is, I would say, for health professionals working in mental health, but also it's not just exclusive to psychologists or psychology students. It's doctors, nurses, anyone really with an interest in mental health and a background in it. And so we cover basically different topics, as I say, over a 6-week period for each module, from the theory and practice of clinical psychology, the history of it, how to really assess. We also talk about the biopsychosocial model, but other models as well, to help develop formulations to then help with treatment programs. So we also cover all the different types of treatment programs, and the learning takes place through case scenarios that the tutor posts each week over the kind of period of the week, and then we facilitate quite often a very lively and interesting and informative discussion. And as a tutor, I also learn from the students because a lot of it is experiential. So people come from their workplace, they talk about things that link to the case scenarios, and then they take some of the learning from the course and then apply it to their learning. So it's a kind of circular process, and we all learn. And then there's an opportunity for a reflective journal, which is fantastic. Again, because we don't all meet in person, this allows an opportunity for the student to reflect each week. And as a tutor, I make comments and help the process along. And then as part of the 6-week module, there is a module activity. Sometimes this is an individual activity like a presentation, or it's a group activity. For example, a leaflet or an information booklet, something like that, that refers to all the information that people have been learning. So whether it's assessment, formulation, to say treatment approaches, and within that, the different aspects of mental health. So topics like depression, anxiety, OCD, we've already mentioned PTSD, and all the sort of common mental health problems, and looking at different approaches such as CBT, third wave therapeutic approaches like compassion focused therapy or mindfulness, things that are really taking the forefront of mental health practice, and also psychodynamic psychotherapy, so traditional approaches. So we're learning, it's a very, very full and rich course. So that's an overview. And I can answer any questions that people may have, because I won't go into too much more detail just now. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's a great point you make about the real international nature of our programmes. And Professor Tahir also mentioned about how there's a real multidisciplinary mix within our courses, and what that enables is for our students to not only be able to work in multidisciplinary multidisciplinary groups and teams as you would in your practice, but also get that perspective from all over the world, where people will be working in different healthcare systems, will have different presentations from patients, different issues, different objectives, just different perspectives. And that is a really rich part of our courses, I think, and something that's a real benefit that you just can't get unless you're studying in this manner online.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's really true for our course because we have had participants from, like I said, from Australia right to Hawaii, and in between, we've had some students who are from Africa, some from Pakistan, India, Malaysia, Singapore, and they bring not only it's the health system, but in mental health. And for those who work in Britain, it's a very good opportunity to learn from people with different cultures, and Britain being quite a multi-ethnic, multicultural society now, especially in the urban areas. GPs who participate in our courses, they learn quite a lot about different cultures, and that is just a phenomenal learning point for people in Britain. So it's not just beneficial for people in other countries, it's beneficial for people who from other countries.
Oh.
Froze for a minute there, Professor, but we got you quite quickly back. Someone's actually asked in the chat, Professor Tahir, what kind of healthcare professionals can do the clinical psychiatry course? I know you did touch on this, but if you wouldn't mind just going over that to answer that question.
We've had social workers, psychologists, general practitioners, people who are working through their psychiatry qualifications in their local system, whether here in UK doing membership exam for the Royal College of Psychiatrists or local exams. They find it useful. Especially those who are at foundation level or house job level, they find these courses quite useful. So wide variety of professionals.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So anybody else has any questions, please feel free to put them in the chat. We'll get through as many as we can today. But at any point, if you have questions about anything, about our courses, the application process, how to use our online learning platform, anything like that, just please put them in the chat box. Alternatively, if you don't feel comfortable in any questions public, we have a direct message option as well on the left hand side. You can pop that in there, we can get back to you after the event has ended. So let's talk now about our admissions process. As I said, we have Kirsty here today to answer some questions, and we're just going to go through the whole process, like life cycle of applying for the courses and what sort of questions may pop up during that process. So let's start from the beginning. How does the application process work? Can you talk us through that, please?
Yeah, of course. I mean, the very first thing that you need to do is decide which programme you are looking to study. We do offer 38 different programmes of study now, which is a lot. So really go through on the website, have a look at the modules, have a look at the learning outcomes, and have a look at the admission criteria for each programme and see what's going to suit you and your motivations and objectives the best. The other decision you'll need to make for our psychiatry course is whether you want to do the postgrad diploma or the MSc. The postgrad diploma is the first year of the MSc, so everyone will do that. And you can either stop there and get your postgrad diploma qualification, or you can continue on for the second year and you'll get your full MSc qualification. So it's up to you to decide what you want to do. If you'd like to do commit to just the postgrad diploma, that's absolutely fine. And after that first year, you can decide whether you want to continue, take a break, or just leave it at the postgrad diploma. That's what many students do. The Applied Clinical Psychology course, that is only available as an MSc currently. But if you were to exit for some reason after the first year, you would receive your postgrad diploma as well. So once you've decided what level of study you'd like to do and what course you'd like to do, you need to go onto the website and you'll find the pink Apply Now button. Click on that and you can open an account and start your application. Before starting your application, I would recommend you get all of your paperwork and things together. We'll need proof of English if you didn't study in the UK or an English-speaking country. This will go into a little bit more detail a bit later on. We'll need your qualifications and proof of those. We'll need your CV and also some references for us to contact. Once you've got that together, you can probably complete your application in about half an hour. It's not a huge complicated form. It's just some fairly simple information to help us assess your suitability for the course. Once you've done that and you've submitted the application, the admissions team will review this and make a decision as to whether you are accepted onto the course. And if you are accepted, you will receive an email with your acceptance letter. And with that email will be a link to pay your deposit. Now, it's worth noting that your place on a programme is not secured until your deposit is paid. So an acceptance letter is not the guarantee of a place on the course. We're fast approaching our application deadline, which is on Monday, and we're seeing applications pouring in for many of our courses. I can just have a look now quickly, and see if I can find it on my screen. For psychiatry, we've had 54 people submit their applications. There's 45 places on the course. So, there's a lot more people applying than we have places. For clinical psychology, we've had 32 people submit, and there's 10 places on that course. So they are starting to fill up. So I would advise, if you are keen to start in September, that you get your application submitted and your deposit paid as soon as possible.
Yeah, we do find that there is a lot of interest around these two courses in particular as well. So we would recommend getting that in as soon as possible. Okay, so let's move on now. So what kind of people might apply for these programs? So obviously we say healthcare professionals, doctors and nurses, but who else do you find is interested in applying for our courses?
It depends on the course. I think Professor Tahir gave us a fairly good overview of the types of people that would apply for the psychiatry programme. These are clinical programmes, both of them, clinical psychiatry, clinical psychology. So you would need to have some kind of undergraduate degree in a healthcare related science and some experience of working in this area of mental health. Without both of those, you will potentially struggle on the course due to the fact that the scenarios that will be posted will be clinically rich, and you will be expected to have that kind of clinical knowledge. If you don't have an undergraduate degree, but however you have something like a diploma in nursing and you have the relevant clinical experience, then we still encourage you to apply. What may happen is you're given a short assessment, which will be similar to the work you'll expect on the course, just to make sure that you're comfortable working at that level 7, and that we're happy that you'll be able to kind of handle the course content.
Thank you. So you mentioned proof of English. And obviously we will accept IELTS. So can you talk us through that, like if somebody doesn't have it, or what kind of score are we looking for?
So these two programs are validated by different universities. So that means that they have slightly different entry requirements. So the MSc in Applied Clinical Psychology is validated by the University of Gibraltar. They will accept IELTS, I think it's level 6 off the top of my head, but I can go and double check that, or a range of other qualifications, including TEFL. Also, if you've studied an undergraduate in the medium of English and you've got proof of that, then that can be accepted as your proof of English proficiency. For University of South Wales, for clinical psychiatry, they have a few extra options. So if you have not got IELTS at level 6, they will accept Duolingo. And that's a test you can do online. It's relatively low cost. I think it's around £35, and you get the results fairly quickly. So that's a really good way to get your proof of English for that program. And again, there's a long list of other things that we can accept. So it's worthwhile, if you haven't got IELTS, just dropping us a line and letting us know, and we can see what else we can accept for you. It's not always completely necessary to have that qualification.
Great, thank you. So if you did want to get in touch with the admissions, it would be admissions@learner.ac.uk. We can put that in the chat for you as well. So you mentioned references as well. How many are we usually looking for, and who can they be from?
Okay, so most courses we ask for 2 references. We actually generally only need 1, but we do find that this is the area that holds people's applications up the most, because referees can be a little bit slow in getting back to us. So by having 2, it kind of speeds things up a little bit. They should be someone that knows you in a work capacity, so a colleague, a manager, a tutor, an employer, and they'll just need to let us know, fill in a very brief form about how they know you and whether they think that you are suitable for the programme.
Thank you. And the next stage we have is a personal statement. Can you give us a little bit of guideline on there, how long it should be, what do people need to include?
Yeah, so the personal statement is just that, it's personal. So around 500 words, you can go up to 3,000. And really what we want to get from a personal statement is an insight into you, the sort of work that you're doing at the moment, and your motivations for studying the course. What do you think you're going to get out of it? What are your goals and objectives? So are you looking to improve your knowledge in a certain area, improve your skills and clinical skills? Are you looking to progress your career? Are you looking to go down the specialty path? We really, really want to know kind of what your motivations are around doing the course and what your kind of history and background is as well.
Great, thank you. And if somebody isn't sure about doing our courses, is it worth them still applying?
So I think, as Dr. Livingston and Professor here both mentioned, doing a postgraduate master's programme is no small undertaking. Yes, the course is online, but that does not mean that it is less involved than doing an in-person on-campus programme. So you will be expected to spend at least an hour or 2 a day on your studies. The good news is, because we have no fixed classes, no lectures, no seminars, and most of the learning takes place in the academic forum, it's very, very flexible, especially for healthcare professionals who are very busy. So you can spend this time whenever you want, whether it be commuting to work, on your lunch break. You can do it in very small chunks, but you do need to be dedicated daily. It's also a financial commitment as well. So if you're not sure whether this is right for you at the moment, what we would recommend is you give us a call, and we can have a talk through your concerns, and then advise you as to whether we think is the right thing for you to do at the moment, or whether it might be best to kind of defer for a little bit of a later date. Really, if you're not sure, we would just suggest you get in touch and we can talk through it with you. As I say, it's no small undertaking, it's no small commitment, but it is very doable. And many of our successful graduates have been busy working doctors, nurses, healthcare professionals, and they've been very successful in the programme. It's just a case of being able to put the time aside to study regularly and consistently.
Thank you. So what happens after someone has submitted the application, it's complete, and they've sent it to us? What would be the next steps?
Yeah, so if there's anything that we need that's outstanding from the application, then we'll get in touch with you. And then once the application is all complete, we will review that and make a decision as to whether you're accepted or rejected. You'll be informed of the outcome by email. If you're accepted, you will also have the link to pay a deposit. If you've been rejected, you will get a detailed email explaining our reasons behind this.
Okay, thank you. And what happens after they're accepted?
After they're accepted, they'll receive an acceptance letter via email. And then once someone's paid the deposit on the course, depending on where it is in the timeline before our actual start date, we will invite students to sign up to our Moodle platform. They'll get some information, some pre-sessional information before they start. And we also have a study skills week that takes place the week before Module 1 starts. What this is to do is to really make you feel comfortable and familiar with online learning, with our online learning platform, give you all the information that you'll need to feel really comfortable to start the course. You won't be dropped in at the deep end. We know that most people won't have done a course like this or in this format before. So the Study Skills Week really does guide you through the academic forum, what you're expected to do in terms of your responses, how to use Moodle, how to get in touch with your tutors, reflective practice, academic best practice and malpractice, and how to kind of avoid plagiarism and things like that, referencing. All of these things will be covered in the Study Skills Week. So you will get invited onto that if you are successful and have the deposit paid.
Thank you. Sorry, I repeated the question there.
That's okay.
And if somebody was to get rejected, and you said they would send the reasons why, can people apply again in another time if they've gained more experience?
Yeah, they can. I mean, it depends on the reasons why someone was rejected. If it's lack of experience, we'd certainly suggest that someone goes away, gets that clinical experience behind them, and then comes back and applies again. If it's because they haven't got the qualification and they weren't able to join the course because of that, then it might be a case of you need to go away and do some further study.
Okay, great. Thank you. So thank you, Kirsty, for answering those questions. They tend to be questions that we get quite often from students along the application process. I hope you all found that useful. If you do have any other questions that have come off the back of that, please feel free to put them in the chat here, or you can contact admissions@learner.ac.uk and we can get back to you. So once you have been accepted onto the course and you've gone through our Study Skills Week, you'll need to sort of get used to using our online learning platform. So to help you with that today, Ben from Student Services has very kindly put together a short video just breaking down what to expect from this platform. So I'll share that with you now. If you could let me know if you can see my screen, because we have had some issues previously. And then, can everybody see that? Can you let me know?
Your screen, I can just see a black screen, Stace. But I think,
okay.
Yeah,
so that's just it paused.
Yeah, there we go, that's it.
Welcome to our open day at Learner. My name is Benjamin from Student Services. In this short video, I'll be showing you a brief introduction to the learning platform Moodle, where all of your studies as a student at Learner will take place. When you start the application process with us at Learner, you will be provided with your login details to access Moodle, the learning platform. The login process is simple and straightforward. Press the blue Learner login button here, and then simply enter your username and your password into the text box and click the login button. Once you've logged in, it will take you to your dashboard. This is the easy to navigate homepage where you can access your modules and all of the supporting resources needed to aid you in your studies with us at Learner. For today's introduction, you can see Cosmetic Medicine Module 4. To access the module, press the Explore button seen here. Please be assured that the Moodle platform is interchangeable with all of the programs that we offer here at Learner. So please do not worry if you are not studying this particular program, yours will look the same. As you can see, each week has its own individual section. For the topic of today's introduction, I'll be showing you week 1 and how to access the academic forum. You can access the academic forum, which is the weekly equivalent of an in-person seminar in forum form, by clicking here. As you can see, there is an example post of a welcome post here, as well as an example on how your case scenario post from your tutor would look on the platform. Once the tutor has posted the case scenario, you are then able to respond with your research and interesting discussion points via this direct thread. Each module will be in an individual section, such as the Study Skills Orientation module, where you will access a range of introductory guides and videos that will discuss the platform in greater detail. The Instructions and Resources section, where you can access the marking criteria and easy to follow guides for each component of your module. And the Learner Library, where you can access your reading resources, academic search engine, and partner university information. This is the Learner Library, where you can access a wide range of resources that will aid you throughout your studies with us at Learner, such as your reading resources, a selection of academic search engines, such as Google Scholar, and further useful resources such as Mendeley, an external, free-to-use reference management system. As you can see via the drop-downs, there are guides to literature searching, a guide to referencing, and a guide to poor academic practice and plagiarism. Furthermore, if you scroll down slightly, there are a range of open access ebooks that you can use to aid you with your studies. Further down the page of the Learner Library, within the Bibliographic Resources section, you are able to find academic search engines such as Academic, BMC, and Cochrane Library, and many more, which are there to be utilized and assist in finding the most suitable sources for your research. If you scroll further down the page, you can find the Useful Resources section. We recommend that you take full advantage of these, such as Mendeley and Grammarly, which become very useful in your studies. At the bottom of the page, you can find your reading resources. When you begin your program, you will have access to these resources for your respective program and find all the relevant materials and reading resources for that particular week and for that particular module. Though our platform is designed to be extremely easy to navigate, onboarding onto a new online platform can be overwhelming. In each section of the platform, you can find direct links to contact the Student Services team, who can answer any queries or questions that you have throughout the entirety of your studies with us at Learner. We hope you have found this short introduction helpful to your application, and we hope to be onboarding you as a student with us at Learner very soon.
Okay, so that was Ben from Student Services, just giving you a brief overview of what to expect from our online learning platform. So if you hope you found that useful, if you want to watch it again, we are recording this, so we'll send you the recording of this live stream, especially for those who have joined late, so you won't miss anything. But it's also available on our YouTube channel, which you can find there, which also has a host of different videos full of information and graduations for you to get a good idea of what it's like to study with us. So now we'll move on to our Q&A. So I see a couple of questions have come in, which have been answered already. So if anybody has any other questions they would like answered, please feel free to put them in the chat now and we'll go through them. And so I see Pedro has asked what will be on the certificate when I complete the course. So depending on which university has validated the course, you will get a certificate with that university. So in this case, it'll be University of Gibraltar, University of South Wales, with the course and qualification level. And it won't state that this course was done online or distance learning at all.
It will put that in the transcript, so it's worth mentioning that.
Okay.
And it's also worth mentioning that wherever you are in the world, you should always check with your local health authority as to the recognition status of the qualification. But it is a proper master's degree from a proper university, and is no less valuable because it is online.
And Emma's asked if she needs to pay the full fee for the course at once. No, you don't. To secure your place on the course, you do need to pay your deposit once you've been accepted. And then after that, you can split the payments through interest-free installments to help you cover the cost of the course. We do have information on our website about what bursaries and scholarships are out there. We have also partnered with Lendwise, which are a student loan company. So if that is suitable for you, you can go through them. We are not able to offer you any financial advice. It's completely down to your circumstances, and we advise that you would speak to them or financial advisor to see if that was a suitable option for you. And we also have a scholarship for those in the Hanari Group A. Is that right, Kirsten? Or you know a bit more about that?
We've got a scholarship fund for students who are joining us from Hanari Group A countries, and it's also based on earnings and things as well. So it's a means-tested scholarship. Actually, almost all of that funding is gone now. So if that's something you did want, you would need to get your application in for that very quickly. What that scholarship provides is 50% of funding for your fees. So you would only pay half of either the lump sum or the monthly instalments. So yeah, just contact admissions at learner.ac.uk if that's something that you're interested in. But do note that almost all of those scholarships have gone now, and it is done on a first come, first served basis.
Thank you. Algina's asked, how much does the Applied Clinical Psychology MSc cost for international students? So with Learn Diploma MSc, we do not charge an international surcharge. So the price offered is the price offered to everybody, and that's applicable to all of our courses. So in this instance, if you wanted to do the Applied Clinical Psychology MSc, the fees would be £8,880, and that's whether you're in the UK or anybody anywhere else in the world. And again, that applies to all of our courses.
Yeah, that's a huge benefit of our courses. Pretty much every other university in the UK has a fairly substantial international surcharge for those coming from overseas, and we don't. It's the same price for everybody. And we do try and keep our prices as competitive as we possibly can. We don't have an in-person campus and all those kind of overheads, so we do keep our prices as low as we possibly can. Our mission is to improve healthcare education globally, and we really want to make it as accessible to people all over the world as we possibly can.
Absolutely. Jessica wants to know a little bit more about what online learn is like and what our students typically say about it. So we do get some students that are a bit worried about online learning because there are no lectures or seminars, there's no campus, how involved they would feel, or if it would be, a little lonely. But as both Dr. Livingston and Professor Tahir have said today, we have weekly clinical scenarios that are coming in. We have the academic forum where everybody is able to converse with each other with ideas. You get perspectives on, global healthcare sort of structures and what they would do in their experiences. Joanna said that she's obviously learnt from other students as well. I don't know if you want to expand a little bit on that, Joanna.
Hi, yes. I was referring to, the vast range of students from various countries, and as I was saying, backgrounds and cultures. So, for example, I was tutoring someone who was working in Zambia, and I realised that I didn't have quite an idea as to the type of work they're involved in and the systems there compared to the UK. So I was learning, from that student. And it's important not to make assumptions which I'm always doing in my work anyway, but working with other people, thinking about their resources, what they're actually working with and the types of people they're working with. So I learned a lot there. At the moment, I'm tutoring someone who works in Malta. There's some similarities, but also differences. So, I often ask, well, what's it like to be working there? I had doctors working in the front line during COVID. I wasn't, so I had to be very aware and sensitive to that, and I owned that in my responses, in the academic forum, which was a real learning point for myself, because there was a topic of burnout, and one of the students rightly said that there wasn't an opportunity really for burnout during the whole COVID process for that person because they had to keep going. Whereas I'd been talking about what one should do for self-care, should they feel they're burning out. But for some people, that wasn't really an option to take much of a step back at the time. So we had a really good, quite emotive discussion around that. But I felt that I learned a lot from those particular individuals. So just different. Trying to think where else. Australia. We also have, so again, sometimes the referencing and the research may be quite different or a bit advanced, or we might look to other research and different programs that people are involved in. So I was learning from a doctor about group processes that they have and the funding they might have in place that we might not necessarily have. Due to art, we think we have limited resources, but it's all quite relative to other countries. So it's been an amazing, like I say, learning process for myself. I think for everyone, people will say, well, we do this here, we've got this kind of funding, this is our priority. So yeah, it's really, like I say, really rich and quite unique, I think.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you. I think another thing that students really like about our courses, and we hear a lot of good things about, is its flexibility, and the fact that you can fit it around your life. We typically say around 2 hours a day to look at it, but that can be any sort of 2 hours, and they're able to we design these courses particularly around busy healthcare professionals so that they can fit it. You don't have to take time off work, anything like that, to complete any part of the course. So yeah, that's another a good point that our students typically say about the course, and that's what they enjoy.
Do you have something to add there?
Actually, I was going to just say that most of the teachers are busy professionals out there who are working during the day job in busy community mental health teams, busy psychiatry teams, and for them to carve time out is really valuable for all the participants. Just like the students are usually busy professionals themselves, so tutors understand the demands, and especially in the last 2 years, the demands from most of us. I work as a liaison psychiatrist in a general hospital, so COVID has been a day-to-day thing for me and my team. So I understood the demands on all the other doctors who were working in COVID areas. So in fact, we produced a document on well-being, and in fact, there was a video that I did for well-being. So we shared that with the students, and that was appreciated a lot. And during the thick of first wave and second wave, we reduced the workload to try and help the students deal with the pressures of their day job. And lots of people were unwell during this time, during the course. And it's just a matter of being proactive and contacting your tutors, so that if you send a direct message to them, so there's just a question there, how much one-to-one time do students get the tutors? There's no specific one-to-one time, but for example, in my modules that I run. I appreciate if students contact me directly by a direct message, and I can respond to them and guide them and signpost them in the right direction. Not only that, on your reflective journal at the end of the week, excuse me, the end of the week, I tend to make a comment on each and individual submission so that they don't feel that they are not on their own. And even during I have tutored almost all modules just to get the feel of what actually it is like being a student, and I continue to work as a tutor and make sure that I gauge from the students how things are progressing. And to be honest, some of the students do want this one-to-one time. But with the nature of how the course is set up, it is not a demand from each and every student. It's only a minor proportion of students, but once they realize how the course is structured, they get quite comfortable in the way it is set up. So you might not get one-to-one time with the tutor, but most tutors are quite regular, almost on daily basis. They will log in. For example, when I'm tutoring, I log in twice every day, once in the morning and once in the evening, and look through the responses and maybe not respond to every response student puts in, but whenever you pick up something which is interesting, which you want to signpost, or you want to bust any myths, then you respond to those responses that have been put by the students. So online doesn't mean that tutors are like ghosts somewhere else. They are there. they're actively involved, and in my course they will respond in detail. So yeah, that's all I want to say.
Thank you.
It's worth adding as well that many of our tutors actually studied with us, and they've gone on after they've graduated to become tutors with us. So they really do understand exactly what it's like to do the courses. That's also a testament to how much they enjoyed the course. Not only do we have people go on to become tutors, we also have people go on to do more courses with us. We do have some serial students that come back again and again. Just to finish off that question from Jessica, you can have a look on our Trustpilot. You can see lots of reviews on there. We post them on the website as well. There are also some reviews on our social media and some testimonials from students. And we have UniBuddy, which is how we're running the platform. And you can actually go and speak to a current student through UniBuddy and find out what their thoughts on the course are as well. So there's lots of different ways of being able to kind of actually connect with our students and find out their feedback on the programme.
Great, thank you. So if we don't have any more questions coming in, I'd just like to remind everybody that the application deadline is on Monday, the 15th of August. It's a very busy time for us. Courses are filling up very quickly. So if you are interested in applying for these courses, then I would recommend getting that done as soon as possible. As Kirsty mentioned earlier, we have more people applying than we have space. So just make sure that you submit your application. You can go through any of the questions again through this recording will be covered for the admissions. If you have any questions, you can watch this back. We have some information on our website as well that will help you with your application process and how to write the personal statement, what we're looking for, and of course we have our admissions team on hand to help you as well. So yeah, please feel free to get in touch. Thank you everybody who has come today. Dr. Livingstone, Professor Tahir, Kirsty, thank you for talking to me today. I'm sure everybody watching has found all the information really useful, and it was great to meet you. And yeah, thank you to everyone joining you, and hopefully we will see you in September.
Thank you very much. Take care, everyone.
Thank you. Thanks.